Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Auburn All the Time, double A double T. Hey man, we're so excited. I got my main man right here, Mr. Auburn football himself, Mr. Bruce Howard, and I'm your boy Rod Stevens. Man, look, we've surpassed week 3,
Yeah.
and now we're in week 4. About to open up with conference play with Texas A&M. But before we get started, once again, I'd like to tell y'all we appreciate y'all for tuning in, all the views. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. We love to read your comments and tell us how we're doing and anything we can improve on. But with that being said, we had a game 3 or week 3 against Sanford Bulldogs, and I guess we'll shortly, recap what we saw against that team. And I'll go ahead and pass it off to you, Bruce. How did you feel about the play of the Auburn Tigers?
Man, I feel like they did exactly what they needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
They worked on the passing game, obviously. Try to get Thorne more comfortable, getting to the point where kind of get him in a groove because it's sort of been like when they're rotating the quarterbacks. He hadn't been in a good rhythm, and I think you've seen this game, they stuck with him, even in the red zone, which I know they worked on a lot of stuff in the red zone as far as passing the ball. They didn't run the ball in the red zone as much as most people wanted to, but they didn't want to. They want to work on some stuff that they haven't really worked on all year, really, and that's why you see he had 282 yards passing, another 120 plus on the ground. He was like 18 yards away passing from breaking a record.
Yeah,
You know,
300, 100.
yeah, so it's like we ain't had a production like that since Nick Marshall against Alabama and Tuscaloosa. That's how long it's been. So what it did, it just put some more stuff on film for for A&M, for other opponents to look for. Which we know he's not going to run for that many yards against an SEC opponent. I don't think, but at least it's on the main thing. It's on film now, and basically this sort of like these first 3 games is sort of like it's been like a preseason almost because they was able to work on some things to get prepared for what's it's the gauntlet of the schedule now. Now it gets real now. It's all conference games moving forward except for one non-conference game left. So it's like, man, everything's in front of them now. The main thing, I kind of wish they was more healthier going into this A&M game, losing Keontae Scott. He's a good cornerback, but he's really, to me, more valuable as a punt returner. And that's the main thing. I think we'll be fine in secondary. It's just that we got several nagging injuries, but we survived. And, going into the season, in order for us to get to where I thought we need to be 3-0 going into this game. And that's exactly how it panned out. And so far, I would say the defense really has been defense and special teams has what's been carrying us to this point, and the offense has sort of been like a work in progress. But I think we're starting to get an identity on offense, and it's going to be tailored around what Thorne does best. I think he gets rid of the ball quick. I think they can run some no huddle stuff with him, some tempo stuff with him, and I think it's basically an RPO offense. So other than that, I mean, I think we're in fairly good shape moving forward. What did you take from that game?
Well, I took that like you previewed the last show. We was talking about letting one guy get the entire playbook.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we saw with Thorne and the approach that they how they approached the game against Sanford, and I think it proved to be effective, and I think it was more of a getting Peyton Thorne comfortable for the rest of the year, because we did not see much of Robbie, and that's not a bad thing. I mean, I really like the way that they approached this game, the offense, as far as offense wise.
Right.
The way that they approached it, we got to see some things, and we got some things where we feel like we know that we can do this. Right. And I heard an interesting stat about the RPO plays. There were like 15 RPO plays for Peyton Thorne, and he completed like 13 or 15. So that stands out to me.
Right.
Like you said, it is basically probably going to be an RPO offense. Um, I still think that we're probably going to be able to run the ball, but all of that stuff is going to come off of quarterback play, and we know that's where it starts. And just to speak to the defense, um, I'm very excited that we're going to get some players back on defense. Particularly in the corner position. Pritchard is expected to play, and the other guy was it
Donovan Kaufman.
Kaufman.
Mm-hmm.
So I think well, we were all right anyway with the guys that were out there, and like you said, losing Scott, man, that is gonna give us a blow at the punt return position. Cause I mean, some jokers out there muffing catches and
we just
stuff.
need at this point. I don't even worry about the return. We just need somebody
to catch the ball.
Just catch the ball.
Yeah, and so only thing I had with Peyton Thorne, just the I'm not gonna blame both of the turnovers that he made on him. I'll blame one of them on him.
Right.
The deep ball that he threw, and it was in the end zone, and that was an interception. But I'm pretty sure they'll clean that stuff up. Game was, what I expected. Because by the time Sanford scored maybe their second touchdown or something, I mean, it was garbage time stuff. And
wasn't it off of a muff punt too?
Yeah, and then it was short field, and then I think they just blew a coverage or something, especially with that pass down the sideline.
Right.
And man, that was a beautiful play though. I mean, that was a very beautiful play. I'd love to just go back and see, the design of that play. But anyway, man, that I guess that pretty much sums up the Sanford game. Really wasn't much to talk about. We knew that going in that we were gonna take care of business. We just didn't know how or didn't know what to expect. And personally, I feel like we still don't have an identity, but I feel
slowly but surely.
I feel better. I feel better about some things that we can possibly do against this next opponent that we got coming up. So with that being said, we'll segue right into the preview of Texas A&M. This game is in College Station, and we know what the 12th man has been able to do in the past. We have. I ain't gonna say we was tested out in Cal, but the crowd is not gonna be nowhere near the same as College Station. So I know that that's gonna play a factor. But from your point of view or from your eyes, your football mind, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. What do you think that Auburn needs to do far as defensively and offensively, and then we'll look at some things that Texas A&M do as we progress in the show. But let's start out defensively. What does Auburn have to do to tame this Aggies offense?
Get pressure on the quarterback. Obviously, I don't think to me this year they don't have that game breaker at running back. So I would say the strength of the team is the quarterback and receivers. With Evan Stewart, he's probably one of the best receivers, if not the best receiver in the conference, one of the best. And I would say Connor Weigman.
Yeah.
I mean, however you say his name, I feel like he's probably, I would say him and Jackson Dart, the quarterback from Ole Miss, they're playing the best of any quarterback in the conference right now. I think he's got 8 touchdown passes, only 2 interceptions, and he's completing over almost 70% of his balls. So, I mean, he definitely, which we seen last year when we played them last year at home. I think that was his first career start, and he didn't have a great game, but he showed me something in that game. He can take a hit. He's tough. He stands tall in the pocket, and he moves around the pocket a little better than what you think too. But the main thing, you're on the road, and what I would do personally, if I win the toss, I want the ball first. I would much rather play with a lead on the road instead of having to come behind. What you want to do, you want to get the crowd. Try to get the crowd out of it, as much as you can. I think it's a factor that we're playing at 11 o'clock in the morning, too, compared to a night game or even a late afternoon kick. But since A&M's been in the league, Auburn has actually had more success against them over there than they had at Auburn.
That's
So
true.
there's several things going in our favor. I think just from a talent standpoint, they're better than us. Because they've been able to stack their classes, like Free said earlier the week, since he's been there. They've been able to build classes on top of classes. Mm-hmm. But from a pure coaching standpoint, I like the matchup with Freeze and Montgomery against DJ Durkin because that's a big drop off from their defense from DJ Durkin from when they had Mike Elko, which everybody sees what he's doing at Duke now. But I will say this though, it looks like to me that Jimbo Fisher's actually letting Petrino call the plays. And that's why I think you see their offense look so much better now because he's doing that. Mm-hmm. But that's another good matchup too, Petrino against Ron Roberts. Because Ron Roberts, I would say at this point in the season, he's done just as good a job as anybody on defense in the conference. Mm-hmm. Anybody. So I think get the ball first, try to play with a lead, and I think that's what I would do. Like I said, if I won the toss, I would want to receive the ball and try to put points on the board first instead of having to try to come from behind.
Yeah. So. Well, I'll echo exactly what you said as far as defense wise. We gotta put pressure on Connor Wigman, and they got some beast receivers. Evan Stewart and I mentioned another name, Anaya Smith.
Anaya Smith. Yeah.
I think he averaging 15 yards a catch or something like that, close to it or something.
Oh, yeah.
So if we're able to get those guys under control for this ball game, and the line of scrimmage is going to be, and I'm interested to see how Ron Roberts is going to approach this game as well. With how he's going to dial this thing up.
I would say, I don't know, based on how our defensive line has played, I don't know if they can get to him with just bringing four.
I don't agree with. I agree with you.
Right.
I don't believe that either.
But if you do that, I think they'll try to blitz from the boundary with Kaufman or somebody like that who will play the star position. But you're making yourself vulnerable if you don't get there.
Yeah.
But I think they really have no choice because I don't know consistently can that front four put pressure on him, which I don't think their offensive line's played that great at all. And their center was out last game, and he was a preseason all-conference player. I think he should be back this week. But still, he's going to bring pressure. I think Auburn has pretty much blitzed 50% of the time this year. That's pretty high. Yeah. And I would think that might even go up now because I would think they're going to run, they're probably past, I would say 70-30, just based on what they've done so far.
Yeah.
So I would think he's going to bring that pressure. I feel good about that. But can that back end hold up? Because you're basically going to play. If you bring that fifth guy, you basically you got six guys. You still got six guys in coverage if you bring that fifth guy. Mm-hmm. And that should be enough. But when you have them six guys in coverage, probably two of them's going to be linebackers, though. That's tough.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
Right.
But I have confidence, and I know Pritchard is this
first game.
This a tough.
Yeah.
This tough thing to come back. Be your first game coming back.
He could have played last week, but they precautionary.
Yeah.
But I probably would have got him just a few reps. And you don't. I know he's got experience, but I don't know if this is really the game you want to knock the rust off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But hey, he does. He's experienced though. Him, Jalen Simpson, Kaufman, they got plenty of experience. When everybody's healthy, we actually have a pretty experienced defense. Mm-hmm. So there's nothing they're probably gonna see that they haven't seen before. So that's good. But the talent level that they're about to jump up to now compared to the first three games is pretty big jump.
Well, and just speaking of talent level, I still feel confident in the defensive backfield.
Oh, I do
because too. I feel like we could take on those one-on-one matches.
They can cover,
and it's all about the front seven or the front 5 or 4, whatever you're gonna do with that situation.
Right.
How are we gonna approach that? And because we just can't let old boy sit back there
in the pocket
and dice us up. You know what I'm saying? Because he will do it.
Yeah.
He has the ability to do it. Don't fool yourselves, as you say.
Yeah.
Don't kid yourselves. This dude is legit, man, and if he's got the time, he will slaughter you. And that's the only thing that strikes my mind or cross my mind, because I feel like these first three games,
Right.
our defense has really. I can't speak enough about them and their performance. Even though the lower tier teams that we be playing, but I mean the way they've taken care of business. I mean, we sitting up there, the offense giving up short fields and stuff, and we're stopping.
Yeah.
We're stopping teams and stuff like that. We're putting our defenses in our defense in a vulnerable position, and they're coming out, on top. So what? Sometimes they're gonna, you gonna get scored on if you give somebody the ball on 25, on your 25. You know what I'm saying?
We're actually, if you look at the numbers, we're actually a little bit above Georgia right now in total defense in the country. I think we're like 14th in the country in total defense. They're like 15th. And you know what they have on defense from a talent perspective. Yeah. But one thing we do have going for us, which I know why, there's several reasons why it's the case, we're the number one red zone defense in the country right now.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna give you another stat. I heard. I can't remember if it was number 4 in the SEC or number 4 in the country on third down.
Third in the SEC.
Third in the SEC.
Yeah. And they're like.
And that's the thing, man. It's that speaks for itself. I mean,
Texas A&M is actually second in the conference, or maybe even one now, converting third downs. Because what it is, they have a lot of third and shorts for one.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing. First down on defense is key too. You don't want to be sitting there 2nd and 3 and 3rd and 1.
Right.
I mean, that's why they're so efficient on third down, because they got a lot of short down and distance. So yeah, man.
And moving on to the next part, offensively, what is Montgomery and Hugh Freeze got to draw up, or what kind of game plan do we have to go against this Texas A&M defense? We know, I just put this out there, their coverage is garbage.
Yeah.
So to say,
basically dead last. Them and Vanderbilt.
Exactly.
Last.
So to say, their coverage. But are we gonna be up to par? Or are we gonna stand the challenge of them stopping or selling out to the run?
Yeah.
And then we beating them over the top or something? Or can we do that?
We could. I would feel better if we was healthier on the offensive line. We're probably gonna have
2 guys out.
They're
probable.
They're gonna play. I would think both will play, Stutz and Miller, but they're not 100%.
Right.
So can they just hold up long enough to buy time? Because if they give him time, you gonna have one-on-one matchups downfield.
Yeah.
And I can tell you now, based on what I've seen, well, I watched the Miami game. Of course, everybody did. Fairweather could have a good game on them because they don't have nobody can cover him. And I would say even Fair and Shane Hooks, I don't see them consistently covering our receivers. The question is, can we hold up long enough? Can we keep them off balance enough? Because you still going to have to run the ball some to set up the pass.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel fairly good about it. I just wish it was a little more healthy. Then I would have a little more confidence.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the plays will be there to be made. Can we hold up in the trenches long enough to do it? Because I'm telling you now, they got some guys up front, man. I know Shamar Turner for sure can go. But they got a lot of size up front too. Both inside guys are over 300 pounds for sure. Mm-hmm. So to me that's the whole game. Because what you don't want, to me, if the game is in the 20s, I like our chances. But if you start getting up in the 30s and all that, you're getting in a shootout with them. Because I think, from a talents perspective on offense, they're a little more farther advanced, and plus they've been playing together longer too than Thorne and our receivers. Mm-hmm. It just makes common sense. Mm-hmm. Plus they're at home too. But like I said, if it's in the 20s, I like our chances. But if it starts getting up in the 30s, I give them the edge.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that, because that's something that I thought about. Right. As far as if we get into that 35-40 range, right. I feel them.
I would be disappointed if they get. Let's just say they get 35 points. I think we lose. But with that being said, I don't think they will, because I don't think Roberts will let them get 35. In my opinion, If they give up 35, something's gonna happen. We turn the ball over 3 or 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see them. I don't think they can drive on our defense the whole game and score 35 on our I could be wrong, but based on what I've seen so far, that's all you can go by. Is what's. I mean, you can't predict the future. All you can go by is what they've shown so far.
Right.
And especially when they get in the red zone, they tighten down.
Yeah, and you brought up a word, turnover.
Right. Now that's something that
that's
it's like this. Our defense lead the SEC. They forced 7 turnovers, but on the other hand, we gave away 7. So I mean, where does that put you?
With no plus, minus, nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's been my and going against these. Like again, I say these lower tier teams,
right.
And you're turning the ball over like that. That strikes a question that, okay, how you gonna play when you start conference play? And this is it. You know, I told you last week that was our last game to get our act together. As far as, you know, we fixing to enter, like you said, a gauntlet of a schedule, and it's no time to. You know, it's all now. Is all is just get prepared for the next team, and just, you know, there's no time to work on anything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know.
We can't be trying to figure this out or what we're gonna do. You know, the first series and all this stuff. So this turnover stuff, man, and a lot of it is self-inflicted.
Yeah.
I mean, most of our turnovers been self-inflicted turnovers, man, and when you look at it like that, you know, that comes from discipline and you know, there's things that, sometimes people gonna get hit and you gonna fumble the ball or whatever. So I don't consider that self-inflicted. Those are forced turnovers.
Right.
But these throwing the balls and, you know, bouncing out the receiver's hands and chest and stuff, and you know, you know, stuff like that. That's self-inflicted, man, because I believe Hooks that had that target in the end zone. He should have caught the ball, man. And another thing, let me talk about that. You got Fairweather, you got Fair.
Yeah.
That are catching at a high rate. I don't think Fairweather's missed a catch. I think I can't remember the stat. I think he's 7 for 7 or something. But on the other hand, Fair is got a high percentage of you know, receiving the ball, but Hooks, with the amount of targets that he's had, I'm disappointed, you know, in his catching and stuff. Sometimes, I mean, you don't even, it look like he ain't even trying to make a play on the ball.
Yeah, just the fact that he needs I think it's an adjustment for him on this jumping up that level, and I think he's learning. But I don't know if that's really his nature. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say that he's just go all out, because even Free said it. There's a lot of loafing that goes on in the receiver room. He wants the receiver to play every play like it's the last play, and until you get that consistently, you'll have some of that drops and you know, different things. But every one of the receivers, they're not all hitting on all cylinders right now. You got 2 or 3 for sure. But I noticed like they're trying to get that Jair Shorter a little more involved in too. So we got plenty of receivers. I mean, we're still waiting on Camden Brown, which I know a couple of these guys are coming off, you know, injuries. So we got enough playmakers. I mean, in the past we wondered about, do we have guys that go out that can make a play?
Right.
But now we do. I feel like we do. And it's just really it is a work in progress, but no better time to get it right than now.
Yeah, and so yeah, I mean, moving right along, we talked about Connor Wigman. We touched on him a little bit. I think that is if not the top key of what's going to happen with Texas A&M. We'll speak a little bit about him and getting Evan Stewart and Anaya Smith the ball, because we don't see a heavy run team, like you alluded to. You said 70-30. That's what you feel like the balance will be.
Right.
Texas A&M, do you think they can expose some of our weaknesses that we have? I mean, I know anybody can. I'm just saying they have the talent. Don't get me wrong. on paper, this team is probably one of the most talented teams in the entire country, not just the SEC.
Right.
But have Texas A&M gotten their act together? That's
I'll tell you something that's key too. Let's just say if it happens, let's say Auburn's up by 14 at halftime or going in the third quarter, whatever. Does Jimbo step in?
Well, that was another question that I was going to ask you because great minds think alike. Because you got Petrino calling plays now. Oh, we think that's what he's doing.
We assume that. Yeah.
It's just so funny about these head coaches and these coordinators nowadays.
It feels a lot like some of the stuff we went through as Auburn fans with Gus. Who's calling plays?
Who's calling plays? And so yes, I was gonna ask you later on in the show. Does Jimbo take over?
I don't know, because I would say this. I feel like Petrino has been calling plays for them this year because the way it looks. The passing game. It looks like what he's done in the past.
Yeah.
It don't look nothing like. That's the thing that Texas A&M fans have complained about for years. His system is outdated. He don't run. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it actually looks like a Petrino more offense than Fisher. So I would say for me, I would say he's probably going to leave it alone. I would think.
I would hope he do.
I don't know. Well, for our case, I hope he don't.
Well, yeah, of course.
So I'm like, but yeah, so far I would say up to this point, even in the Miami game, it looked like he's been calling plays. It really does. So I mean, I don't know. I think Petrino, when he's right, he's actually one of the best play callers in the country. Yeah. I don't even think it's a debate about that.
Yeah, and there's no doubt about it. I mean, you put him up there with the Kiffins and the Freezes.
Definitely.
No doubt about it. His name has been out there for umpteen years. You know what I'm saying? So we know what he can do.
Right.
And so defensively, I do not see their front four being the only solution to pressure the quarterback as well. I think it's going to be a collective effort with the linebackers as well. But we know.
I know
that them corners ain't.
Yeah. Well, I know. I mean, DJ Durkin. I mean, I don't know a lot about him, but from what I understand, from what I read, A&M fans, they're not happy with him. I mean, because he can make an average quarterback look good. And everybody knows the kid from Miami, he struggled a lot last year.
Right.
Maybe he's having that good of a bounce back this year, but he lit them up. And they couldn't get to him.
Oh, yeah.
And so, I mean, I would think from a experience standpoint, Thorne is right as far as experience goes. He's right there with that guy, Van Dyke. And so I'm like, man, I think we got a shot, but it's the fact that we're playing over there. And if we was a little, like I said, if we was at 100% strength, and I would feel better. And if we was at home, I would feel. If we was at home and we was healthier, I would take Auburn straight up. The point spread I noticed today, it's up to 8.
It's up to 8 now.
Yeah, the guy I listened to a guy on Jocks this morning, the Vegas Insider, and he said it's up to 8. But they asked him what he thought about it, and he said, "I can tell you right now, between A&M and with Auburn having freeze and everything, he wouldn't even touch the game on either side." He said it's just too many now. Still, it's just too many unknowns. So that told me a lot right there. But I did find it interesting that line jumped up to 8 though. Yeah. I know why, because of the injuries.
Right.
I mean, it's common sense on that. So man, with that being said, you know where we're going next. Oh yeah, I gotta let you know this, man. I mean, you hit it on the head last week.
45.
Missouri and
I told y'all,
and Kansas State.
But that 61-yard field goal,
we didn't see that coming. That was like the worst clock management at the end of the game.
I mean,
it shouldn't even came down to that.
It shouldn't have.
But still, that was good call on your part.
Man, I just felt it, man. But that's one of them rivalries like you got the Iron Bowl. Right. I mean, they've been playing for years, man. Yeah. What is it? Almost 100 years, 90-something years, or whatever.
With that being said, it feels like you're hot right now.
Oh boy,
it feels like you're hot.
You done put the doggone spotlight.
So I'm gonna turn to you. You know the point spread is 8. What you feeling?
Well, let me draw this up for y'all.
All right.
And I'm gonna tell y'all this.
Right.
Texas A&M can score.
Yes,
They can score.
they can. They can move the ball.
So you had said that if this game get in the 30s and 40s, I think it's a lost cause for Auburn. I don't think we can.
We haven't proven
Right,
yet.
right. Because even with the play against Cal, man, I was just like, wow. It's just like we playing down our competition.
Right.
But this game, I've been thinking about this for a while because I've been thinking it was gonna be a shootout.
Right.
But then again,
Right.
I thought about it and I thought about it and I thought about it, and I said, you know what? This game ain't gonna be scored as high as people think it is.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel that way.
So, with that being said, it's not gonna be no 8 points.
Right.
Either way.
Right. Oh yeah.
I'm going with a 3-point ball. 3 points or less.
Right.
Difference. That'll be I'm not gonna guess the correct score.
Right.
Okay. I'm gonna pick a team. I'm not gonna give you a score, but I'm gonna tell you the total. I'm gonna tell you the total. I'm gonna give you the total.
Right.
It is going to be less than 52, the total. And it's going to be a 3-point or less ball game, a difference.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take the Auburn Tigers because I still feel like Montgomery and my boy Roberts still got something up their sleeve.
Well, they got, to me, from a coaching standpoint, them two, I like them two better than A&M's two, even though they do have Petrino.
I agree.
But I think the difference is they got DJ Durkin and we got Ron Roberts. And I think that much more of Roberts than I do him. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the difference maker. So I'm with you on the point total. I'm right there with you. I feel that way too. But I got the score. I got Auburn covering the points. I think it's going to be like a 27-23 game. But I mean, I have to be honest. Take the points, but I like A&M to win the game. I'm gonna say 27-20.
Whoa!
Yeah, so.
Whoa!
I have to be honest, but I could see it going either way.
Hey,
I mean, I just have to be honest.
Let's be real.
I mean, you got to.
But hold up.
Right.
Out of these next 3 games.
Right.
And I heard this on a podcast, and I ain't gonna even trip. I just want your opinion. Out of these next 3 games, we got what? A&M, Georgia, LSU
on the road.
Which 3 of these games is the most important, Bruce?
Georgia, from a perception standpoint.
Okay, why you think that? Tell me.
If I'm not mistaken, over the last 18 times we played them, they're 15-3 against us.
Mm-hmm.
And perception is that Kirby Smart has owned Auburn since he's been there. He's only lost Auburn 1 time since he's been at Georgia as a head coach.
Right.
He's owned us in recruiting, and he's pretty much shut us out, the state of Georgia, since he's been there.
Yep.
Which you see some of that starting to change some. We're starting to compete with him again. But from a perception standpoint, we need to win. To me, they're the standard right now. No matter what you think, they're working on a 3-peat, which I don't think they will. But they're still the favorite until somebody beats them. Right. And I actually believe if we're healthy, I think we got a shot against them.
Okay.
Because I'm going to tell you, I think A&M is better than them offensively. Not defensively.
Yeah.
But their quarterback's better than Georgia's quarterback. Their receivers are better than Georgia's receivers, minus the tight end Georgia's got.
Yeah.
But I think overall, Auburn has a better shot against Georgia than they do A&M, for what it's worth, in my opinion. Based on, from a health standpoint, that's something I don't know yet. But, and I would say right now, just right now, in my opinion, LSU's playing the best ball in the SEC right now.
Yeah.
After that loss, they circled the wagons a little bit, and you can tell they're starting to hit their stride.
Well,
so I would say right now, between these 3 games, if I had to rank them 1 to 3, what I think Auburn will win, I will have Georgia, A&M, then LSU is the hardest, in my opinion. Because that LSU game is probably going to be a night game over there, too. Yeah. Which is, we actually went over there recently. But with that being said, I give A&M this. I mean, I can see Auburn winning. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a 3-4 point game either way. I give them an advantage because they're healthier than us,
Yeah.
and they're at home. That's really the only advantage I got. And I like to be honest. Their quarterback to this point has played a little more consistent than ours. And our receivers, I've gotten better, but don't kid yourself. We don't have one that's established yet like Evan Stewart either.
Right.
Not.
Right.
I mean, you have to be honest.
Right.
So just being honest, I think Auburn could win the game. Surely, I think I would put it maybe 60-40 A&M, maybe a little less than that, but still, I just have to be real. So I mean, like I said, I'm gonna say 27-23, 27-24.
And you shocked me with that pick.
Right.
I'm just gonna be honest with you
because we don't talk before this.
Right, right.
We leave everything out here.
That's why I reacted like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, getting back to the importance of the next 3 games, I just feel like I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like this Texas A&M game is the most winnable game.
It's gettable. I would say it's gettable because they're still, to me, they don't play up to their rankings from a recruiting standpoint. They don't.
No,
they don't.
That's obvious.
So it's gettable, but I'm just looking at the overall, and I would say this based on what I feel. This is just a feel. Auburn playing at home means something.
It does.
And there's going to be so many. So you already you can see it coming. So many recruits in town next weekend for that game. Mm-hmm. I just think it's going to be a lot of build up for that game, especially even if we lose this game and this is a close game. And like I said, I think we have a chance to be more healthier next week too. Yeah. So I just think I like I said, I think A&M is better in some ways than Georgia. Yeah, I really believe that. Yeah. From an offensive standpoint, they're better than Georgia. Yeah.
So I'm not downplaying your point, right. Because I mean it makes great sense. Right. Just like you said, from a perception standpoint, is this where we're going? Is this the crossroad when we get to Georgia?
Which I think just for this season,
it's a turnover.
Yeah. I think it's at the point now. You look at these next 3 games. We got 3 games before we get our bye. Okay. Mm-hmm. If you tell me going into this bye, Freeze's first year after our first 6 games, we're 4-2, or let's just say 5-1. That's a success. No matter how you look at it. But I'd much rather be sitting at 4-2 and 5 than 3-3. Yeah. Because perception is that's what we're going to be. Because we're underdog no matter how you slice it these next 3 games.
Right. So, right. Yeah. And so, hey, man, agree to disagree.
Hey, I want to be. I want to be wrong. This is one of them chances. This is one of these things you want to be wrong because I'm telling you right now, if Auburn goes there and beats A&M, Georgia's going to have their hands full next week.
I believe so.
I mean, either way, I think they will. But I'm just thinking that much more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and who Georgia played this week?
UAB.
Oh, that's
so with that being said,
warm-up game.
Auburn would have a better resume up to this point than they did.
Oh yeah,
based on who we played. Oh yeah, you said you want to. We went to Cal, which it ain't, whatever. At least we went over there and won. Mm-hmm. Then that means we went to A&M and won too. Mm-hmm. So that means we have 2 road wins under our belt, and they ain't even left the state of Georgia yet.
Right, exactly.
When they come to Auburn next week, that's their first time even leaving the state.
Yeah, they got one of them old Auburn schedules. We start our first 5 games off at home. Yeah. Crazy stuff. But hey man, you got our picks. Listen, let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Is Prime going down Saturday?
Is he going down? I would say
you got them Ducks, man.
I would say he's going down, and he might be going down hard.
Cause they schedule look rough too.
Yeah, we do. Which I feel pretty confident with Oregon beating them. I don't know if they'll cover the 21, but I think Oregon will get them. I can see.
I don't see no 21, man. When I saw that, I said, Lord have mercy.
But there is a game before we get out here. I gotta ask you about.
I think I know where you're coming.
It's a 7-point home favorite, Alabama Ole Miss. And I like Ole Miss a lot better to Kiffin started his shenanigans like he always does.
That's what I was just about to say because if Kiffin had kept quiet, that would have let me know a whole lot.
Yeah, he just can't. He can't help himself.
I just don't. You say it's 7.
They're afraid about 7. Alabama, unfortunately. That line in the Auburn
I'm gonna tell you
line
like
is
this, man. I'm picking Alabama.
I am too.
Because and I ain't gonna need to lie to you, man. I'm gonna pick them. I'm gonna say 10 points.
10. I'm gonna say Ole Miss has a chance to cover. I can see it being a 38-35 game or something like that. 31-27. 30, just due to the fact that I think Ole Miss has a good team.
Well, Ole Miss is gonna score.
Yeah, they are.
I don't think it's gonna be the days of past. Kiffin in Alabama.
That Ole Miss will have. They went obviously. Alabama's not crazy. They went back with Milroe at quarterback.
Yeah, and I feel like they should.
That he gives them the best chance to win.
He gives them the best option.
And from a man-for-man perspective, I don't think Ole Miss can line up and just stop them from running the ball. And that's what they're going to do 70-80% of the time. They're just going to line up. When you look across Ole Miss's defensive front, and I'm Alabama, even though they haven't played great, their offensive line, every one of their offensive linemen are bigger than their defensive line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But even going to that part, Jackson Dart going to get him the business, though.
He's good. I would say him and old boy A&M, they're the two best quarterbacks right now.
Well, I throw Daniels in there with LSU, man, because I feel like he got his act together.
Yeah,
and,
that is true.
He was phenomenal against Mississippi State. I can't even
had
lie
a good
to you,
grade.
man. I watched over half of that game, and I was very impressed with that young man playing.
Right.
And so those are the top three SEC quarterbacks.
You can
I don't
make
think
a
it's
case
even close.
right now. You can make a case right now that LSU's the favorite to win the West. I don't even think it's a debate, really. To
Well,
me.
yeah. If they play the same way they played against Mississippi State, if they maintain that consistency, they'll beat everybody in the West,
Right.
and it won't be it'll be a no brainer.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So we both got prime going down,
down.
and we both picking Alabama.
Right. Unfortunately, I mean, it happens.
But what else on the docket this week?
Man, it's actually a lot of games, man, which I know we're kind of over where we normally are, but there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
You know, it really is. You got Florida State, Clemson.
That's what I was going to do. Florida State, Clemson.
It's a pick 'em for what it's worth.
It's a mystery. We wonder, because here's the thing. If Clemson wins this game,
right,
that could potentially put them back on track.
Could.
You know what I'm saying? But that could give them that momentum to get back on track. But you already know me. I'm a secondary Florida State fan, so I'm gonna be a homer with that pick. I'm gonna stay with Florida State. But man, look, we just said that we over normally than what we do. We knew this was gonna be a lengthy show because we're starting conference play. Right. Saturday, 11 a.m. College Station. So we're looking forward to that. ESPN, right? Hey man, y'all Auburn fans, tune in. Let's root our boys on. He picking A&M. I'm going with the home team. So we both got about 50 points being scored total.
Right.
And I got a 3-point or less difference, and he got a 4-point or less difference. And so let's see how it match up, man. And hopefully.
Hopefully get out there a little more healthy and get prepared for next week.
For the other Bulldogs.
That's it.
And so with that being said, man, hey, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. Another episode of Auburn All the Time, AATT. This is my boy, Mr. Football himself, Bruce Howard, and I'm Rod Stevens. So I'm gonna sign out saying War Eagle.
War Eagle.